I'm on two minds about the rescissions package the administration has proposed. One is I like the fact that they followed the law, right? The rescissions are a, um, a pathway through which cuts can be implemented in appropriation bills. It was provided in the Congressional and Impoundment Control Act of 1974. So they're using what you might call regular order, which is great. They say, you know what, this administration says, hey, these appropriations are things we do not support. We think they're not a good use of taxpayers' funds. Let's send the rescissions proposal to the Congress, and Congress can dispose of it. It can either support the rescissions or reject them. And that's the way the process is supposed to work. So I'm glad they did it. On the other hand, I wouldn't vote. I'm not a senator or a congressman, but I think that they're kind of targeting foreign aid in a way that's very indiscriminate and not particularly good for the country. I'm not a foreign aid specialist, but some of the things they're doing just seems very, very harmful to me based on what I read. And so I'd give it a close scrutiny. So it may not be meritorious. On the other hand, at least they're following the process. So if it passes, it passes. Having said that, the other point you raise, which is what happens if it doesn't pass? Or, maybe even if it does, what are they doing in other parts of the government? It's clear from lots of reporting, they are holding back all kinds of funding that was provided through the congressional appropriations process for agencies and not spending at the rate that would clear out the appropriations by the end of the fiscal year. So, and they've said publicly and are said on TV and various interviews that they are teeing up and believe that they have a constitutional authority to impound funds that the Supreme Court will legitimize at some point. So they are clearly angling to, even if Congress doesn't agree to rescissions, just stop funding on other things that, maybe they don't even try to rescind because they know it wouldn't pass. Like NIH. If they send up a rescissions package on NIH, it wouldn't pass, so they don't even try. But they may impound the funds for NIH. And at which point, there's a remedy. The Government Accountability Office can kind of say, hey, they're impounding funds, and it's supposed to then go into court. But all of that takes time and is subject to a lot of uncertainty. So how this gets resolved in a way that's good for our country is something that is very much up in the air.